I'm going to have one more go at talking a little about my experience in this society that believes it should be taken seriously, respected, and be in control of the world. That it looks after its citizens, that it means well. The United States and that. I thought I'd give one more go. Okay. Um, as you know, if you've watched everything, which you probably haven't, but you know, if you watch anything, you realize when I was a child and under attack from armed adults and stolen cars, I went to the principal's office in the elementary school and told them I was going to be killed by a gang. I was in tears and biting my nails bloody. And they laughed at me. And then when I disappeared for a month, they didn't investigate. Okay. And this is the Pittsburgh um, administration of the University of Pittsburgh calls its cultural norm, provincial norm. So I was taken care of by the provincial norm. Now, some uh, backwater areas of our society still remember a long disused, long since laughed at, absurdly ridiculed phrase, corrupting the morals of a minor, it was called. It was from the 50s. Well, here's what how that plays in the provincial norm of the city of Pittsburgh. Um, I was under the watch of an Israeli goblin named Bernard Wattenmaker, who had been a psychiatrist for Attica State Prison Penitentiary, and somehow he became my neighbor in the city of Pittsburgh. And his children were neurobehavioral researchers. Now, they deafened me and implanted a neurotrauma that left me. That one of them's in neurobehavioral research, which means mind control to the point where you're pushing buttons. You have one of these things, and you make the child do things so it goes into seizures, neuroleptic trance. And there's no doubt that they did it. They left a script. They wrote about it. As surely as the various sad sacks who open up on soft targets leave their, we don't call them manifestos. This one was called the Walrus, and they, even though they don't call it a manifesto, they treat it like it's mightier than a manifesto. They do like this. Louis Lapham of Harper's Magazine, Swami Nostra, Swami. So he bows down to this. Now it mentions a lot of Hollywood things and names George Romero, his daughter. So it's specifically intended. I mean, right here, Stephen King. Can you see that? That's what I think of you. It remains the script. It's a script, which means that they had Hollywood lots, which means that what they were calling stolen cars were being called stolen cars to me by police who knew that it was Hollywood loans of used cars in a scripted situation that was in what they called in the writings impinging on the persona's experience, meaning they used neuroobedience to take a child hostage and then used Hollywood to protect themselves while they criminalized their hostage. And Swami Nostra, Swami Nostra, says Louis Lapham of Harper's Magazine, while he rips off the museum with John Schulman. They were allowed to torture me, and to this day, 50, 60 years later, the motherfuckers are still getting away with poisoning me in the mouth and torturing me for testimony so that they can laugh and lick each chops about it and say, what is real? What is the nature of reality? We still can't tell what's true. We still can't tell what's fiction. That was Joe Kaplan's famous line. I can't tell which of this is true and which of this is fiction. Swami Nostra, Swami Nostra. It's called Israel, and it's in Pittsburgh.